everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Nice to meet you. My name is Asia. Today we're gonna do a video that I'm actually so excited to do. Am I 3 weeks late? Maybe. But we're gonna do 25 books I want to read in 2025. Ooh, I have some here. Some of the 25 books I want to read in 2025 I own. Some of them are new releases, so they're not out yet. And some of them I want to buy. I'm gonna go through them. I have a list here. And in these 25 books, I have the new releases that I'm so excited about this year. So we're gonna talk about new releases as well. We're gonna do 2 videos in one. I feel like we should go straight into it. First book on the list is a new release, but it literally came out today. It's Onyx Storm! You know about it, you're reading it. I know you're reading it. You're reading it, aren't you? I know you're reading it. Every single one of us is reading this book right now. A brand new book. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book in the Empyrean series. So this is the first book I want to read in 2025. It's the 3rd book of a series. It's a romantasy series. It gives a bit of divergent vibes with dragons. And the dragons have a great sense of humor. I might say my favorite part of every dialogue is the dragons. The love story is very fun. I don't know how this is gonna be because I just started it, so I've got no clue. This is by Rebecca Yarros. It's a fun time. It's probably not the best piece of literature in the world, but it's so fun. So why not? Ooh, the next 3 books I want to read, so 2, 3, and 4, are Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness. And these are part of the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare. So if you have read any of the Shadowhunters universe books, these are kind of like the 3rd series that you should read. So I've read the first 2, so that's the 3rd series. I've read The Infernal Devices in 2024. Incredible. I loved it so much. I even have a vlog here if you want to go and have a look about reading the last book in that series, and I cried because it was that good. It was incredible. I actually am back into it. I feel like I'm 13 and again reading about Shadowhunters. So I am so excited to read the Dark Artifices. I actually don't know who they're about. I'm gonna read them anyway. 5th book that I cannot wait to read. It's Burn Bright by Kristen Beccarici. Now, you might be like, what book is that? You probably know the Addicted series by Kristen Beccarici. So the Addicted series is about 6 people and they all had kids, and then there's a series about their kids called the Leica series, which I'm going through them. I'm almost done. And then they're gonna do another spin-off about the kobolds because there's too many of them. So they're gonna do a spin-off series about the kobolds, but I'm pretty sure you can just read that without reading the rest. You'll get it anyway, but you don't have to read like 23 books before that. So I'm getting through the Leica series and I'm hopefully done by September so I can read Burn Bright. I cannot wait to read this. This is gonna be about Ben Kobold. What I want is the one about Charlie Kobold, but it's okay. I'm sure we'll have that soon. Next book is another new release and I cannot wait for this one. I actually could cry thinking about it. It's Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. If you've read the Windy City series, you know who's this about. The one and only Rio. The Windy City series is an interconnected standalone sport romance series. It consists of Mile High, The Right Move, Caught Up, and Play Along that just came out in 2024. So in 2025, there's the last book of the series, which is Rewind It Back. And I'm so excited because Rio has been in every single book so far. Every single one, and every time I was like, Rio, I can't wait to know who you're gonna end up with. Like, I cannot wait to read his story and I cannot wait to be in his brain. I know I'm gonna have so much fun in his brain. I know that brain is crazy. I cannot wait. And he's literally one of the girls. He's one of the girls. He's literally like part of the girls like group. Like when it's girls' night, he's there. He's an icon. I love him so much. And I'm gonna actually be so upset because it's the last one. Next book, I actually own it already. It's Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. So this is the 2nd book of the Scythe series. Scythe is a dystopian book where humans are so advanced that they don't die anymore. So there's a bit too many people around because people don't die. So there's some special people who are in charge of that. They're in charge of eliminating some people. They say it's gleaning, so they glean people. A girl and a boy, Citra and Rowan, are 2 young scythes. They just got chosen to become scythes. There was a whole lot of thing happening in the first book. It ended in a crazy cliffhanger, and I'm actually so excited to read the 2nd. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. they're making a movie. They're making a movie out of the first book, I'm pretty sure. So that's exciting. I'm really excited to see that. I cannot wait to read this. And there's a little subtle romance. Very little, very subtle, but actually very exciting to know where it goes in this book. The next book I want to read, I've talked about this so much. This year, we're doing it. It's Alone With You in the Ether. In my head, I'm gonna love it because I love every single thing that Olivia Blake has ever written so far that I've read. Because I used to not want to read it because it was my last Olivia Blake book. But now I have a new one. January's came out, which is like, I think, a collection of short stories. So I can read this without feeling guilty that it's my last Olivia Blake book, which makes no sense. I'm pretty sure this is a love story about two people who are going through it, and they met in the art institute, and he has destructive thoughts with compulsive calculations about time travel, because of course, and she's a bipolar counterfeit artist undergoing court-ordered psychotherapy. Sounds so good, sounds fun, and it's Olivia Blake. The writing is gonna be incredible. Next book, It's Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I obviously want to read this in summer. It gives summer vibes, look at it. But I actually haven't read it so far because it's not the first one in a series, and I'm pretty sure it's the third. But apparently it doesn't matter if you read it first, second. But I already read one of Abby Jimenez's books, but I don't think it's the same series. I'm very excited, everyone loves it. Literally everyone who's read this book has loved it, but I'm gonna try and push it to like beginning of summer. It is about like two people who have like this curse that the partners that they just broke up with always end up finding their soulmate right after them. So they were like, what if we date and then we like defeat the curse? And then I think the love story comes from there. I'm gonna have high expectations for this one. Oh, the next one is so good. This is another one that you've heard me talk about for so long, but I still haven't read it. It's Heavenly Bodies. This is literally the proof copy. I've received this months and months and months before it came out, and I still haven't read it just because it's a bit scary. It just looks a little bit scary, but I just need to like get over it and read it because a lot of people are loving it online now that it's out. The back of this, I mean not the back because this is a proof copy. The back of it, it's very good. This is by Imani Eriu, by the way, and it says, first of all, it says, you know the most dangerous kind of villain, a woman with nothing left to lose. I love that. In a world ruled by the stars, cruel and merciless gods, Elara has been cursed by fate. She is either forced to let Prince Lorenzo train her into a weapon worthy of battling against the tyrannical reign of the stars, or to accept her fate. Everyone that I know that has read it has really liked it, so I'm so excited. Can love overcome fate? I'll let you know when I read it. Next book that I want to read is Alchemized. Now, do you know what that is? You might have seen at one point, I made a video on this channel, was me reading Manacled for the first time, reading my first ever AO3 fanfiction. And I enjoyed it, it was fun. It was so much, it was so painful and a lot happened and it was long, but it was like a very well written fanfiction, especially for being a fanfiction. Now, Senlin Yu is making it a book. They're turning it into a book. It has been removed from AO3. Manacled is not there anymore. I have it downloaded on my Kindle, so if I ever want to reread it, I'm fine. It's Alchemized. The original fanfiction was a Harry Potter fanfiction. It was a Draco and Hermione fanfiction. And it was kind of like, it was very Handmaid's Tale. It was like, what if Harry Potter didn't win the war against Voldemort? And they lost, and it was all about what would have happened to the prisoners of war, and one of them was obviously Hermione. She was literally sold to a rich family, her to be used as breeding, just to make children, and she got sold to the High Reeve, which happened to be Draco Malfoy. It starts like that, and then you find out that there was a past between them before she got sold, because she has a 2-year gap in her memories. She has like memory holes of the wartime, and that was because of something that happened. And obviously, you know, not gonna spoiler it, you're gonna read it, but I want to read the book. So I know I technically read it, but I haven't because I've read the fanfiction version. I'm excited to read it. I want to know how it turns out. I want to know if they're cutting it shorter because it was insanely long. But like, how are they gonna do it? I don't know. I'm so curious to know what they're gonna do with like Voldemort and like the whole plot. It's Harry Potter. But obviously they can't put that in the book. So that's another book that I'm extremely excited to read in 2025. Next one as well, you've heard me talk about this a couple times, is Tomorrow. I will finally read it. I promise you, 2025, I'm gonna read this book. I've had this book since it came out. I haven't read it yet. This is the year. I don't know why it scares me. This is not a romance story, but it's a story of love. And it's the story between Sam and Sadie. They used to know each other as children. Their spark is ignited again. Story of friendship, rivalry, fame, and creativity, betrayal and tragedy, perfect worlds and imperfect ones. I keep pushing it back. I keep like, oh, I'll read it next month. It's been 2 years. We're gonna do it. I actually don't know anyone physically that has read it, but I know a lot of booktuber and book talkers that have loved it. So, and I trust their judgment very much. So, and I'm sure I will too. Oh, this is another one. I get comments on YouTube every day saying, you need to read Dance of Thieves. This is the year. I just haven't read it for one single reason. There is a series that comes before this, a trilogy that comes before this, that I haven't read. And some people say, no, you have to read that series before you read the Dance of Thieves duology. And some people say, no, it's fine, you can just read this. So that's why I have not read it yet. But I will read it without reading the series before, I fear. I literally get comments every day on Book Talk and BookTube. Asia, you need to read that. So I'm pretty sure it's a romantasy duology. It's enemies to lovers, slow burn. That's all I know, and that's all I need. That's all I need. Give it to me. Enemies to lovers, slow burn, fantasy, romance. Yes. Ooh, the next one I actually have been meaning to buy every single time I go into a Waterstones. I go in and I'm like, I need to buy you, and then I never do. It's Crimson Moth, or The Heartless Hunter, but it's by Kristen Ciccarelli. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now, in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic. And Rune must hide what she is. Oh, so she's a witch, but she has to hide because if not, she gets killed off. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. Fun! And he's a witch hunter? She's a witch and he's a witch hunter? Yes. 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 And it has incredible reviews. It's literally, most people give it either 4 stars or 5 stars. I'm easily entertained, you know what I mean? I will be fine. I just need to buy it. Next book that I really want to read in 2025 is Saving Six. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book of the Boys of Tommen series, and I want to read them all. I want to finish the series. I only read the first 2 back in 2022. I swear I read them so long ago when no one really cared about them online, and now everyone loves them. So I haven't read them in so long that I actually don't really remember everything that happened in the first 2 books, so I might have to find like a summary or something. I just remember that I cried my eyes out for hours on end, sobbing, and I was very ill when I read those books. So I just want to finish the series. It's a high school romance, which is usually not what I like, but it was much deeper than just high school romancers. Check the trigger warnings for this series because it has heavy topics and it was heavy on the soul. But I really enjoyed the 2 books that I read, so I really want to keep going and read the rest. I know that Saving Six and Redeeming Six is about a different couple than the first 2. It's about her brother, so I'm excited about that because he was an icon. Loved him. The next book also is a re-release, and it's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love anything Taylor Jenkins Reid has ever written that I've read. Let me read the back to you because I've got no clue. I just put it on the list because I know I'm gonna love it. She's like a instant buy author for me. Doesn't matter what's the book about, I will read it. Ooh, this is set in the 80s. Slay. Space shuttle program about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits. Joan has been obsessed with the star for as long as she can remember. Oh, she's a professor of physics and astronomy, and she wants to join NASA's space shuttle program. And she wants to go to space. Yay. Oh, yeah, sounds good. Every single one of her books that I've read has changed me, had a big impact on me. I just love her. Literally, all I need to know is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know the plot. I don't care. Ooh, next book is the Book of Azrael. I've heard so much about this book. So many people have read this. Everyone loves it. It's a fantasy romance once again. There's a lot of fantasy romance happening. Let me read to you what it's about. Oh, it's the first one in a series. Oh, there's more. There's 4 books out or 3 books out. I didn't know it was part of a series. 1,000 years ago, Diana gave up her life in the deserts of Eoria to save her dying sister. She called upon anyone who would listen, not expecting a monster far worse than any nightmares to answer. Now she does what Caden asks, even if that means securing an ancient relic from the very creatures that hunt her. I heard that the ending is crazy, and I saw so many people doing like the reaction to like the last chapter, and they were all shook. I want to read it so bad. I feel FOMO because everyone talks about it and I don't know what we're talking about. I want to know. Tell me if you've read any of these books and let me know if I actually should read them and your opinions on them, because I need them. Oh, next one is a heavy book, I think. It's one of those books that when people read them, I think they're smart. It's The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I know that's at my street of like, I love that kind of books. I just sometimes don't read them because it's like they're not as easy and quick to read because they're heavier. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum experience of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last, into evil. Yes, that sounds great. I love dark academia books, so that's what I want. I feel like I would thrive reading that because then I would feel like I'm smarter than everyone else. Next book I own actually, The Courting of Bristol Keys by Mary E. Pearson, which is the same author of Dance of Thieves, just clocked. And look how pretty it is. And it's signed, I'm pretty sure. Look, it's signed. I've heard contrasting reviews. Some people love it and some people are like, not impressed at all. Once again, fantasy romance, I'm pretty sure. And Bristol Keys has lost both her parents, and her sisters struggle to stay afloat in their small quiet town. At one point she starts to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises to help. She discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. She starts a journey of gods, fae, and monsters, and she makes a deadly bargain with the fae leader, Tygan. And I assume Tygan is the love interest. It's brand new. It came out not that long ago. And I'm not gonna lie, I just bought it because it looked like this. The cover was great and the spreader just looked even better, and that was enough for me. It was signed, I bought it. I do indeed judge a book by its cover. What do you mean? Another new release. It's Sunrise on Reaping by Susan Collins. Now, I'm sure you heard. I'm sure you've heard. It's the new Hunger Games book. And it's Hamish's story, his games. Sign me up. Like, that's all I care about. I want to know. I want to be in his brain. I can't wait to read this. I'm so scared though, deep down. And obviously there's going to be a movie made about it the year after. So 2026, the movie's out. I've read all the Hunger Games books, loved every single one of them. I think Suzanne Collins' brain is something to be studied. Like, she can write so beautifully and so easily. A genius. The fact that she wrote songs for, I just love her writing so much. Hunger Games changed my life, let's be honest. So I'm definitely gonna be reading the new book. I don't love the cover, but I'm gonna have to get over it. Next is The Women by Kristen Hanna. I read my first Kristen Hanna book in 2024 and it was The Nightingale, and it was incredible. I cried so much. I have a vlog here of me crying on the internet. Oh my god, I think about The Nightingale way too much. I think about that book so much. Yeah, I just want to read more of her books, and I heard that The Women is one of her best work, so count me in. I'm there. Sign me up. Her books are always sad. So I need to like find a time where I am mentally stable for it. Ooh, another series that I'm so excited to start and actually can't wait. And I've been meaning to do it for a while now. It's The Naturals, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've never read anything from her. I just really want to read The Naturals. The premise sounds so good. I'm pretty sure it's teenagers with supernatural abilities helping FBI I'm sure that's what it's about. The FBI has started a classified program that uses exceptional teenagers to crack infamous cold cases. And they need Cassie, and Cassie is this 17-year-old with a natural ability of reading people. And people love this series so much. Like they rave about it. I'm pretty sure it's like either 4 or 5 books, and there's a couple of novellas in there. Next book is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. So many booktubers I know have loved this, and apparently it's quite sad. I don't really know much about it, but my mom has read it and she's loved it. So that's enough. It says, if he had been with me, everything would have been different. I wasn't with Finn on that August night, but I should have been. It was raining, of course, and he and Sylvie were arguing as he drove down the slick road. No one ever says what they were arguing about. Other people think it's not important. They do not know there is another story, the story that lurks between the facts. What they do not know, the cause of the argument, is crucial. So let me tell you. Like, come on, that sounds great. So it's a sad one. It's a sad book. And I kind of want to make a video of like reading sad books for a week. But like a Chris and Hannah, this, and Saving Six all in one video. No, that would be insane. I would actually go insane. But that would be fun. Would it? I love sad books. I love crying. I love being so invested that ink on paper makes me feel so many emotions that I have to cry. Especially because I'm not an easy crier. So yes, I really want to read it. And last but not least, I'm pretty sure it was 25, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And I don't know much about it. I just got a TikTok about it 2 weeks ago. And since then, I went on Goodreads and said, want to read. It says, long before she was the terror of Wonderland, she was a girl who wanted to fall in love. Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland and a favorite of the unmarried King of Hearts, but her interests lie elsewhere. Oh, she wants to be a baker, but she can't be because she's gonna be the next queen. And he's a court joker. But obviously, I guess it's like forbidden romance because they can't be together because she is gonna be queen. I just saw a TikTok of one line and I was like, yes, add to cart. I'm easy to impress. And I saw someone saying that this was one of the best fantasy standalones because fantasy standalones are very rare. Nowadays, everything is either a duology or a trilogy or a series, and you don't really find many standalones. I guess it's quite hard to make everything happen in one book. Like if you want like world building, romance, like it's a bit hard to make everything happen in one book. But I saw someone say that this is the best fantasy standalone they've read. So that was it. I was like, yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, these are 25 books I really want to read in 2025. Let me know if you read any of these and let me know your opinions on them. That's all I care about. Also, let me know what books you want to read in 2025. It's going to be a great year for us all, for the reading life. There's a lot of exciting new releases. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps a lot. I have a BookTok account if you want to go and follow. I have a normal TikTok. I have my Instagram. Everything is linked below if you want to go and follow me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I love you and I'll see you next time. Ciao.